Hare Krishna everyone, welcome to my channel DJ Squirrel Chasing Impossible. Let's start today's book reading of Srila Prabhupada. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurumiritam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपकथं मह्यं ददान्ति स्वापदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुं श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथं तं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादं सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश हे कृष्ण नमां विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय बुद्धले स्मृतये भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामी नाम नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गुरुवाणी विचारणे विशेषणे पदपश्चादिदेष्टाय नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम व्रताय कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामने गौरतिश्वे नमः हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपति गोपेश गोपिका कांतो राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिय वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानं पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः अनन्तकोटि वैष्णववृन्दे जय वैष्णव ठाकुर की जय श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय मुखं करोति वाञ्छालं गंगं लङ्घयति गिरिं यत्कृपादमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनधारिणम् ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय जन्मादिश्च यतोन्मयादितरतश्चात्वै स्वविघ्नस्वरः तेने ब्रह्महृदयादिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरया तेजो वारिमृदं यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्नः स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि धर्मः प्रोजितकरितवत्र परमो निर्मत्सराणां सतां वीद्यं वास्तवम् अत्र वस्तु शिवदं तापत्रयोन्मूलनम् श्रीमद्भागवते महामुने कृते किं वा परैरीश्वर सद्यो हृदयोपरुद्यते अत्र कृत्रिभिश्शुश्रुभित्तक्षणान् निगमकल्पतरुगलितं फलं सुखमुखादं मृतदव संयुतं पिबत भागवतं रसमालयं मुहुरहो दशका भुवि भावुका नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं परं चैव निरुत्तमं नारायण नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्. So today we're continuing 1.8.25. Vyapadassantu dassasva tatra tatra jagadguru bhavato darshanam yatsya apunarbhava darshanam vipadaha calamities santu. Let there be tha all shashwat again and again tatra there jagat guru, O Lord of the universe, bhavataha your darshanam meeting, yet that which syat is apunaha not again, bhava darshanam seeing repetition of birth and death. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada, synonyms as well. Translation, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. I wish that all those calamities would happen again and again, so that we could see you again and again. For seeing you means that we will no longer see repeated births and deaths. Purport. Generally, the distressed, the needy, the intelligent, and the inquisitive who have performed some pious activities worship or begin to worship the Lord. Others who are thriving on misdeeds only, regardless of status, cannot approach the Supreme due to being misled by the illusory energy. Therefore, for a pious person, if there is some calamity, there is no other alternative than to take shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord. Constantly remembering the lotus feet of the Lord means preparing for liberation from birth and death. Therefore, even though they are so called calamities, sorry, they are welcome because they give us an opportunity to remember the Lord, which means liberation. One who has taken shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord, which are accepted as the most suitable boat for crossing the ocean of nescience. Sorry. Samashitaye padapallavaplavam mahatpadam punya isho murari. It's called like that. It's the most suitable boat for crossing the ocean of nescience can achieve liberation as easily as one leaps over the holes made by the hoofs of the calf. Such persons are meant to reside in the abode of the Lord, and they have nothing to do with a place where there is danger in every step. What is the sloka? Samashitaye padapallavaplavam mahatpadam punya isho murari bhavambudi vassabadam varam badam 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 yad vipadam natesham. This material world is certified by the Lord in the Bhagavad Gita as a dangerous place full of calamities. Less intelligent persons prepare plans to adjust to those calamities without knowing that the nature of this place is itself full of calamities. Woo. They have no information about the abode of the Lord, which is full of bliss and without any trace of calamity. The duty Oh, here it says the duty of the sane person, therefore, is to be undisturbed by the worldly calamities, which are sure to happen in all the circumstances. Suffering all sorts of unavoidable misfortunes, one should make progress. This is very, very powerful. Suffering all sorts of unavoidable misfortunes, one should make progress in the spiritual realization because that's the mission of human life. Wow. Wow. The spirit soul is transcendental to all material calamities. Therefore, the so called calamities are called false. Mm, sorry. Man may see a tiger swallowing him in a dream, and he may cry for this calamity. Actually, there is no tiger and there is no suffering. It is simply a case of the dreams. Yeah. In the same way, all the calamities of the life are said to be dreams. If someone is lucky enough to get in touch with the Lord with the devotional service, it is all gain. Contact with the Lord by any one of the 9 devotional services is always a forward step on the path going back to Godhead. Wow. जन्मैश्वर्यश्रुताशीभिर्यदमान मदः पुमान् नैवार्हति अभिधातुं वा त्वामकिञ्चन गोचरम्. Janma birth Aishwarya opulence education Srivi by the possession of the beauty Yedamana progressively increasing Madaha intoxication Puman human being never ever Arhati deserves Abhidatum to be dressed in feeling. Why, certainly, Twam, you, Akinchana Gochara, one who is approached easily by the materially exhausted man. Translation. My lord, your lordship can easily be approached, but only by those who are materially exhausted. One who is on the path of material progress, trying to improve himself with respectable parentage, great opulence, high education, and bodily beauty, cannot approach you with sincere feeling. Whoa, 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 what is this? One is on the path of material progress. Okay, what is that material progress? He's trying to improve himself in respectable parentage, great opulence, high education, bodily beauty. Cannot approach you with sincere feeling. What is it? Sincere feeling. This is great words. Okay, being materially advanced means taking birth in an aristocratic family and possessing great wealth, an education, and attractive personal beauty. All materialistic men are mad after possessing all these material opulences, and this is known as the advancement of material civilization. But the result is that by possessing all these material assets, one becomes artificially puffed up. Oof, artificially puffed up, intoxicated with such temporary possessions. Intoxication. Consequently, such materially puffed up persons are incapable of uttering the holy name of the Lord by addressing Him, feeling, "O Govinda, O Krishna." It is said in the Shastras that by once uttering the holy name of the Lord, the sinner gets rid of the quantity of sins that he is unable to commit. Such is the power of uttering the holy name of the Lord. Oof, 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 oof. Power of the holy name. Therefore, there is not the least exaggeration in the statement. Prabhupada is saying there is no exaggeration. I don't think it's an exaggeration. Prabhupada experienced it. Actually, actually, the Lord's holy name has such powerful potency. But there is quality to such utterances also. It depends on the quality of the feeling. What is it? Quality of the feeling. A helpless man can feelingly utter the holy name of the Lord, whereas the man who utters the same holy name in great material satisfaction cannot be so sincere. You should be a helpless man. What is it? This is a helpless man. It's a great word. A materially puffed up person may utter the holy name of the Lord occasionally, but he is incapable of uttering the name in quality. Therefore, the 4 principles of material advancement, namely high parentage, what is this? The 4 principles of material advancement. This is the principles. Oh, high parentage, good wealth, high education, and attractive beauty, or so to speak, disqualifications for progress on the path of spiritual advancement. They are disqualifications, you understand? If you're trying for those postures, the material covering of the pure spirit soul is an external feature as much as fever is an external feature of the unhealthy body. Oof. The general process is to decrease the degree of the fever and not to aggravate it by maltreatment. Sometimes it is seen that the spiritually advanced persons become materially impoverished. this is no discouragement. On the other hand, such empowerment is a good sign, as much as falling of the temperature is a good sign. The principle of life should be to decrease the degree of material intoxication, which leads one to be more and more illusioned about the aim of life. What's the aim of life? Oh, Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada, so nectar. Degree of material intoxication, which leads one more and more illusion about the aim of life. Grossly illusioned persons are quite unfit for entrance into the kingdom of God. Oof, 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 oof. Sorry. नमो किञ्चन वित्ताय नमो किञ्चन वित्ताय निवृत्य गुणवृत्तये आत्मारामाय शान्ताय कैवल्ये पतये नमः. Namaha, all obeisances unto you, Akinchana Vittaya, under the property of the materially impoverished, and Nivrittaya, completely transcendental with the actions of the material modes, Guna material modes, Vrittaye, affection, Atma Arama, Atma Ramaya, one who is self satisfied, Shantaya, the most gentle. Kaivalyavadaya, under the master of the moon is Namaha, bowing down. Translation. My obeisances are unto you, who are the property of the materially impoverished. You have nothing to do with actions and reactions of the material modes of nature. You are self satisfied, and therefore you are the most gentle and the master of the monist. Purport. A living being is finished as soon as there is nothing to possess. Living being finished, huh? Nothing to possess, huh? Finished. Why is it finished? Therefore, living being cannot be, in the real sense of term, a renouncer. A living being renounces something for gaining something more valuable. A student sacrifices his child's proclivities to gain better education. A servant gives up his job for a better job. Similarly, a devotee renounces the material world, not for nothing, but for something tangible in spiritual value. Srila Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, and Srila Raghunath Das Goswami and others gave up their worldly pomp and prosperity for the sake of the service of the Lord. Resigned for the service of the Lord. They were big men. They were big men in this worldly sense. The Goswamis were ministers in the government service of the Bengal, and Sri Raghunath Das Goswami was son of the big Jamindar of his time. But they left everything to gain something superior to what they previously possessed. The devotees are generally without material prosperity, but they have a very secret treasure house in the lotus feet of the Lord. Oof. There is a nice story about Srila Sanatana Goswami. He had a touchstone with him, and this stone was left in the pile of refuse. A needy man took it, but later on wondered why the valuable stone was kept in such a neglected place. He therefore asked him for the most valuable thing, and then he was given the holy name of the Lord. Chintamani. See what I. Akinchana means one who has nothing to give materially. You should be striving for the spiritual wealth, not the material wealth. You can use it, but the main thing is this. Akinchana means that he, one who has nothing to give materially. Actually, if a factual devotee or a Mahatma doesn't give anything material to anyone, but he has already left all material assets. He can, however, deliver the supreme asset, namely the personality of Godhead. The asset is mind, they say, right? Personality of Godhead. Because he's the only property of the factual devotee. Krishna should be the property of the devotee, huh? The touchstone of the Sanatana Goswami, which was thrown in the rubbish, was not the property of the Goswami. Otherwise, he would not have kept in such a place. This specific example is given for the neophyte devotees just to convince them that material hankerings and spiritual advancement go ill together. Oh, oh, powerful. Unless one is able to see everything as spiritual in relation with the Supreme Lord, one must always distinguish between the spirit and matter. Unless one is able to see this, unless one is able to see everything is as spiritual relation, then till the time he has to distinguish between the spirit and matter. A spiritual master like Sri Sanatana Goswami, although personally able to see everything as spiritual, set this example for us only because we have no such spiritual vision. Wow. I have to accept it. Only because we have no such spiritual vision. You think that you have it? No, you cannot have it. What? Advancement of material vision or material civilization is a great stumbling block for the spiritual advancement. Such material advancement entangles the living entity in the bondage of the material body, followed by all sorts of material miseries. Such material advancement is called anartha. What is that? Anartha. Or things not wanted. Material advancement. Prabhupada is talking about the material advancement here. It's called anartha. Actually, this is so. In the present context of this material advancement, one uses lipstick at a cost of 50 cents, and there are so many unwanted things which are all products of the middle. Why Prabhupada talked about lipsticks? In the present context of material advancement, one uses lipstick at the cost of 50 cents, and there's so many unwanted things which are all products of the material conception of life. By diverting attention to so many unwanted things, human energy is spoiled without achievement of spiritual realization. Wow, what are these words? I have to read them hundreds and thousands of times, I think. By diverting attention to so many unwanted things, human energy is spoiled without advancement of spiritual realization, the prime necessity of the human life. The attempt to reach the moon is another example of spoiling energy. Yeah. Because even if the moon is reached, the problems of life will not be solved. The devotees of the Lord are called akinchanas because they have particular, practically no material assets. Such material assets are all products of the three modes of material nature. They foil spiritual energy, and thus the less we possess such products of material nature, the more we have a good chance for spiritual progress. Oh, cannot accumulate all everything and everything. All the Supreme Personality of Godhead has no direct connection with material activities. Hmm. Not direct connection. All his acts and deeds, which are exhibited even in the material world, are spiritual and without affection for the modes of material nature. In the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says that his all his acts, even his appearance and disappearance in and out of the material world, are transcendental. And one who knows them perfectly shall not take his birth again in this material world, but will go back to God. What is that? Sloka? Janmani, okay. I have to read it again. I forgot. One who has perfectly should not take his birth again in the middle world. न जन्म न जायते जन्म कर्म च मे दिव्यम यो जाना जन्म कर्म च मे दिव्यम परिभाषते तेषां त्याभियुक्तानां विदितां प्रीतिपूर्वकं न जन्म कर्म च मे दिव्यम यो जाना परिभाषते त्याभियुक्तानां विदितां जन्म कर्म च मे that's the starting I forgot but I don't know what is the next one पुनर्जन्म न विद्यते that is the last line जन्म कर्म च मे दिव्यम यो जाना यो जन्म कर्म च मे दिव्यम let me see the database जन्म कर्म च मे दिव्यम जन्म कर्म so 4.19 जन्म कर्म च मे दिव्यम एवं यो वेति तत्त्वतः तत्त्वादेहं पुनर्जन्म नैति मामेति सोऽर्जुन. One who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities and doesn't upon leaving the body takes his birth again in the material world, but attains my eternal abode, O Arjuna. Okay, that's it. The material world, but will go back to God. जन्म कर्म च मे दिव्यम् एवं यो वेति तत्त्वतः त्यक्त्वादेहं पुनर्जन्म नैति मामेति सोऽर्जुन त्यक्त्वादेहं पुनर्जन्म नैति मामेति सोऽर्जुन. Okay, the material disease is due to hankering after and lording it over the material nature. Wow. Let's evaluate in your lives. What are the things that we're hankering after? What are the things that we're trying to lord it over? This hankering is due to the interaction of the three modes of nature. Neither the Lord nor the devotees have attachments for such false enjoyment. Wow. If you're a devotee, you don't have it. We're trying to become devotees. That's the time. That's the thing. We have to think about it. But no, the devotees have attachment. Do we have? Yeah, I have a lot of attachment. I'm not a devotee yet. and in the process of becoming devotees. Therefore, Lord and the devotees are called Nivritta Guna Vritti. Nivritta Guna Vritti. Oh, where is this sloka in this? The perfect Nivritta Guna Vritti is Supreme Lord because he is never becomes attracted with the modes of material nature. Whereas the living being have such a tendency. Some of them are even trapped with the illusory attraction of the material nature. Because the Lord is the property of the devotees and the devotees are the property of the Lord, especially reciprocally. The devotees are certainly transcendental to the modes of material nature. That is a natural conclusion. Such unalloyed devotees are distinct from the mixed devotees who approach the Lord for mitigation of miseries. Distinct from the mixed devotees who approach for mitigation of miseries and poverty, and because of the inquisitiveness and speculation. The annoyed devotees and the Lord are transcendently attached to one another. Wow, they have a transcendental attachment. For others, the Lord has nothing to reciprocate. For nothing to reciprocate. Therefore, he's called Atmarama. Oh, that's why he's called self-satisfied. Self-satisfied as he is the master of all monis who seek to merge into the existence of the Lord. Such monis merge with the personal effulgence of the Lord called the Brahmajyoti. But the devotees enter into the transcendental pastimes of the Lord, which are never to be misunderstood as material. Manye tvam kalamishana mana anadinitanam vivam samam charantam sarvatra bhutanam yanmita kalihi. Synonyms. Manya, I consider Twam, your lordship Kalam, the eternal time, Ishanam, the supreme lord, Anadinidanam, without being an end, without beginning and end. Vibham, all pervading, Samam, equally merciful, Charantam, distributing, Sarvatra, everywhere, Bhutanam of the living beings, Yat Mitaha, by intercourse, Kalihi, dissension, translation. My lord, I consider your lordship to be eternal time. Yeah, whoa, sorry. Eternal time, the supreme controller without beginning and end and all pervasive one. In distributing your mercy, you're equal to everyone. The dissensions between a living being are due to social intercourse. Kunditi knew that Krishna was neither her nephew nor an ordinary family member of her parental house. She knew perfectly well that Krishna is the primeval Lord who lives in everyone's heart as a super soul, Paramatma. And in the name of Paramatma, feature of the Lord is Kala. At the eternal time. Eternal time is the witness of all our actions, good and bad, and these resultant reactions are destined by Him. It is no use saying that we do not know why and for what we are suffering. We may forget the misdeed for which we may suffer at this present moment, but we must remember that Paramatma is our constant companion. Therefore, He knows everything, past, present, and future. And because the Paramatma feature of the Lord destines all actions and reactions, is the supreme controller also. Without his sanction, not a blade of grass can move. The living beings are given as much freedom as they deserve. And misuse of that freedom is the cause of suffering. If you're suffering, that means you have misused your freedom. The devotees of the Lord do not misuse their freedom. If you're a devotee, then you're not going to misuse the freedom, and therefore they are the good sons of the Lord. Others who are misuse freedom and put into misery is destined by the eternal karma. The karma offers the conditions of both happiness and miseries. It is all predestined by eternal time. As we have miseries uncalled for, so we may have happiness also of being asked. For they are all predestined by Kala. No one is therefore either an enemy or friend of the Lord. Everyone is suffering and enjoying the result of his own destiny. This destiny is made by the living being in course of social intercourse. Everyone here wants to lord it over the material nature, and thus everyone creates his own destiny under the supervision of the Supreme Lord. He is all pervading, and therefore he can see everyone's activities. And because the Lord has no beginning or end, he is known also as the eternal time Kala. Prabhu, which books did he? Thank you all. So let's continue with the Bhagavatam recitation. Sloka Ratnamala. I recite Srimad Bhagavatam level 1. Verses from memorization. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Janmadesya yatunvayaditarataschatveshu abhignaswaran. Dine brahmaridayadi kavaye muhyanti yatsurayah. Tejo vari mridham yata vinimayo yatra trisaggo amrusha. Dhamna swina sada nirastakuhakam. Sutyam varam dhimahi. धर्मः प्रोजितकैतवत्र परमो निर्मत्सराणां स्तां वेद्यं वास्तवमत्र वस्तु शिवदं तापत्रयोन्मूलनम् श्रीमद्भागवते महामुनि कृते किं वा परैरीश्वरः सद्यो हृदि अवरुध्यते यत्र कृत्रिभिश्वश्वष्टवित्ताक्षणान् निगमकल्पतरुदलितं फलं सुखमुखादमृतरवसंयुतं पिबत भागवतं रसमालयं मुहुरहो रसिका भूयिभावुकाः प्रायेणल्पायुषः सब्ज कलौऽस्मिन् युगे जनः मन्दहस्य मन्दमतयो मन्दभाग्या हि उपाद्रतः नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवय भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। मुनयः साधु पृष्ठोऽहं भवाब्धिर्लोकमङ्गलं यत्कृतः कृष्णसम्प्रश्नो येनात्मसु प्रसीदति स वै पुंसम्बरो धर्मो यथो भक्तिर्यदोक्षजेयः हेतुकप्रतिहता ये आत्मासु प्रसीदति वासुदेवे भगवती भक्तियोगप्रयोजितः जनयति आसु वैराग्यं ज्ञानं च यद् हेतुकं धर्मः स्वानतिस्तः वंशं विस्वक्षेण कथा श्रियः नोत्पादयत् यदि रतिं श्रम एव हि केवलम् विदन्ति तत्तत्त्वविदस्तत्त्वं विज्ञानमद्वयं ब्रह्मेति परमात्मेति भगवानेति शब्दति अतः पंभिर्विदश्रेष्ठः वर्णाश्रमविभागशः स्वानुशिष्टस्य धर्मस्य संसिद्धिर्हरितोषणं तस्मादेकेन मनसा भगवान् सात्वतां पतिः श्रोतव्यः कीर्तितव्यश्च देयस्पूज्यश्च नित्यदा तेन युक्तः कर्मग्रन्थि निबन्धनं चिन्तन्ति कोविदस्तस्य को न कुर्यात् कथारतिं शुश्रूषोषद्दधानस्य वासुदेवकथारतिः चिन्नहत्सेवया कीर्तनसेवनात् जन्मतः स्वगतः कृष्ण पुण्यश्रवण कीर्तन अवहृदयन्तोऽस्ति यावद्राणि विदुनोति सुहृत्सताम् अष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवति उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी ततो रजस्तमो भावकामकलोबाधयश्री चेतयेतेन नाविद्यं स्थितं सत्ये प्रसीदति एवं प्रसन्नमनसो भगवद्भक्तियोगतः भगवत्तत्त्वविज्ञानं मुक्तसङ्गस्य जायते विद्यते हृदये कलन्तिष्ठन्त्यन्ते सर्वसंशया क्षीयन्ति तस्य कर्माणि दृष्ट एवात्मनीश्वरे एतेषां सकलः पुंसं कृष्णस्तु भगवान् स्वयम् इन्द्रियारिव्याकुलं लोकं नदयन्ति युगे युगे कृष्णे स्वधामोपगते धर्मादि कृष्णे स्वम कृष्ण कृष्णे स्वधामोपगते धर्मज्ञानादिभिः सह कलो नष्टदृशं येष पुनानार्कोऽदिनोदितः न यद्वचस्तत्र पदं हरेर्यशो जगत्पवित्रं प्रगृणीत कर्हेचित् तद्वायसं तीर्थमुष्णति मानसा न यत्र हंसा निरमति शिक्षयः तद्वाग्विसर्गो जनथागविप्लवो यस्मिन् प्रतिश्लोकमबद्धवत्यपि नामामि अनन्तशेषोऽङ्कितानि य शृण्वन्ति गायन्ति गृह्णन्ति साधवः कृत्वा स्वधर्मं निरनम्बुजं हरिर्भजन्न पक्वोऽथ पथो ततो यदि यत्र क्वा वा भद्रभूतमुस्य किं को वार्ताप्तो भजतां स्वधर्मतः तस्यैव हेतु प्रियते तु को विदु न लभ्यते यत्प्रमथमुपर्यतः तल्लभ्यते दुःखवदन्यतः सुखं कालेन सर्वत्र कबीररमहसाम् इदं हि पुंसस्तपसः श्रुतस्य वा श्रेष्ठस्य दुःसूक्तस्य च बुद्धिदत्तयोः अभिज्ञानुवर्णनां कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय अपुनर्भवदर्शनम् न पुनर्भवं भगवत्संज्ञसङ्गस्य मध्याह्नं किं मुताशिषः श्रोतव्यादीनि राजेन्द्र ऋणं शान्ति सहस्रशः अपश्यतम् आत्मतत्त्वं गृहेषु गृहमेदिनाम् निद्रया ह्रियते नक्तं यवायेन च यः दिवा चार्थेहाय वर्णेन वा देहावत्यकलाद्वेषु आत्मसंज्ञेषु असस्वपि तेषां प्रमत्तो निधनं पश्यन्नपि पश्यति तस्माद् भारत सर्वात्मा भगवान् ईश्वरो हरिः श्रोतव्यः कीर्तितव्यश्च स्मर्तव्यश्चेत्तव्यम् एतावान् साङ्ख्ययोगाभ्यं स्वधा परिनिधिष्ठया जन्मलाभपरः पुंसम् अन्ते नारायण स्मृतिः अकाम सर्वकामो वा मोक्षकाम उदारति तीव्रेण भक्तियोगेन यदि पुरुषं परम् आयुर्हरिति वै पुंसम् मुद्यन्नस्तं च यशो तस्यार्थे यत्क्षणो नीत उत्तमश्लोकवार्तय तरवः किं मस्तक किं न स्वतन्ति युता न खादन्ति न मेहन्ति किं ग्रामे पशवो परे अहोबकीयं स्तनकालकूटं जिज्ञांसयापायदपि साध्वी लेभे गतां दात्री उचितं ततोऽन्यं कम्मा दयालुं शरणं व्रजेम तस्यारविन्दनयनस्य पदारविन्द किञ्जल्कमिश्र तुलसी मकरन्दवायुः अन्तर्गतस्वविवरेण चकार तेषां संक्षोभमक्षरजुषम् अपि चित्ततन्वो प्रसङ्गमजरं भाषम् आत्मनः कवयो विदुः स एव साधु सुकृतो मोक्षद्वारम् अपावृतम् तितिक्षवः कारुणिकाः सुहृदं सर्वदेहिनाम् अजातशत्रवः शान्त साधवः साधुभूषणम् सताम्रसङ्गं मम वीर्यसंविदो भवन्ति हृत्कर्णरसायनः कथा तज्जोषनादस्वपवर्गवर्त्मनि श्रद्धारतिर्भक्तिरनुक्रमिष्यति मद्भयाद्वादिवातोऽयं सूर्यस्तपति मद्भयात् वर्षात् इन्द्रियो दहति अग्ने मृत्युश्चरति मद्भयात् अहो बतो स्वोपचितो गरीयन् यज्जिह्वाग्रिवत्तते नाम तुभ्यं ते पुस्तवस्तु जुहुवुर्षश्नुरार्या ब्रह्मानुचुर्नाम गृह्णन्ति ये ते यथा तरोर्मूलनिषेचनेन तृप्यन्ति यत्स्कन्दभुजोपशाखः प्राणोपहारश्च यतेन्द्रियाणां तथैव सर्वाहम् अच्युतेज नायं देहो देहबाधां नृलोके कष्टान् कामानर्हति विद्भुजं ये तपो दिव्यं पुत्रकायेन सत्त्वं शुद्ध्येदिस्मा ब्रह्मसौख्यं तु अनन्तं नूनं प्रमत्त गुरुते विकर्म यदीन्द्रियप्रीति अप्रणोति न साधु मन्ये यतात्मनोऽयं न सन्न्यप्रिक्लेशदासदेहः पुंसः स्त्रीमिथुनिभावमेतं तयोर्मितु हृदयग्रन्थिमाहु अतो गृहक्षेत्रसुताप्तवित्तिर्जनस्य मोहोऽयं महं ममेति गुरुर्न सस्या स्वजनो न सस्या पिता न सस्या जननी न सस्यात् दैवं न तत्स्यान्न पतिश्च सस्यान् नमो च यद्यः समुपेत मृत्युं यस्यास्ति भक्तिर्भगवति अकिञ्चन सर्वैर्गुणैस्तत्र समासते सुराः हरौ अभक्तस्य कुतो महद्गुणा मनोरथेन न सिद्धावतो बहिः केचित् केवलया भक्त्या वासुदेवपरायणः अहः गुण्वन्ते कास्नेय निहारं ह्येव भास्करां साङ्केत्यं वा इहासं वा स्तोभं हेलनमेव वा वैकुण्ठनामग्रहणम् अशेषागहरं विद्युः स्वयंभूर्णारदशम्भु कुमारः कपिलो विदुमनु प्रह्लादो जनको भीष्मो बलिर्वैयासकेन्वयम् अहं हरितव पदैकमूलादासानुदासो भवितास्मि भूयः मनस्मरथ शुभतेर्गुणं ते गृणीतमः करोतु कायः न नाकपृष्ठं न च पारमेष्टं न सार्वभौमं न रसाधिपत्यं न योगसिद्धिर्पुनर्भवं वा समञ्जसयत्वा विरहय्यकाङ्क्षे अजातपक्ष इव मातरं कस्तनः यतवत्सरा स्तन्यं यथा वत्सर ततः क्षुदार्तः प्रियं प्रियेव विशुतं विषन्ना मनोरविन्दाक्ष ते त्वां ममोत्तमश्लोकजनेषु सत्यं संसारचक्रे विरमतस्वकर्मभिः त्वं माययात्मजधारगेहेषु वसक्तचित्तस्य ननाथ भूयां मुक्तानामपि सिद्धानां नारायणपरायणः सुदुर्लभः प्रसन्नात्मा कोटिष्वपि महामुनि नारायणपरः सर्वे न कुतश्चन बिभ्यति स्वर्गापवर्गनरकेषु अपि तुल्यार्थं दर्शिनः तत्साधु मन्ये सुरवर्यदेहिनां सदा समुद्विग्नधियाम् असद्गृहात् हित्वात्मपातं गृहमन्धकोपं वनं गतो यद्धरिमाश्रयेत श्रवणं कीर्तनं विष्णु स्मरणं पादसेवनम् अर्चनं वन्दनं दास्यम् साख्यम् आत्मनिवेदनम् इति पुंसार्पिता विष्णुं भक्तिश्चेन नवलक्षणा क्रियेत भगवति अर्धा तन्मन्येदितम् उत्तमम् मतिर्न कृष्ण परतो स्वतो वा मितो बिभ्यत्येत गृहव्रतानामदान्तगोपीर्विशतं तमिश्रं पुनः पुनश्चर्वितचर्वणानां न ते विदस्वार्धगतिं हि विष्णु दुराशया ये बहिरुक्तमानिनः अन्दान्तगोपी अन्दायथां दीर्घोपनीयमाना तेऽपि स्वतन्त्रं गुरुधाम्नि बद्धः न ते विदुस्वार्धगतिं हि विष्णुं दुराशया ये बहिरर्थमानिनः अन्धायतां देरोपनीयमाना तेऽपि स्वतन्त्रं गुरुधाम्न बद्धः कौमारं मातरेत् प्राज्ञो धर्मान् भगवतान् ह्या दुर्लभं मानुषं जन्म तदपि दुर्वं मरत्तदम् एवं जन्मनि पतितं प्रभवापि कूपे कामाभिकामामनुयः प्रपतं प्रसङ्गा कृत्वात्मसत्सुरासिर भगवान् गृहीत सोऽहं कथं नु विसृज्य तव भृत्य सेवम् नै नैवोद्विजे परदुरत्य वैतरण्य व्याद्वीर्यगायन महामृतमग्नचित्तः सोचेततो विमुखचेतसेन्द्रियार्था माया सुखाय परमुद्वहतो विमूढान् एवं व्यवस्यतो बुद्ध्या समाध्याय मनोहृदि जाप परमं जाप्यं प्राग्जन्मनि अनुशिष्यते शिक्षितम् स वै मनः कृष्णपदारविन्दये वैकुण्ठं स वै मनः कृष्णपदारविन्दयो वाचांसि वैकुण्ठगुणानुवर्णने करौ हरेर्मन्दिरमाजने दिशु श्रुतिं चकारच्युत सत्कतोदये मुकुन्दलिङ्गालय दर्शने द्विषो तद्वृत्य गात्रस्पृशङ्गसङ्गमं गुणानां च तत्त्वात् सरोजसौरभे श्रीमत्तुलस्य सुदर्शनं ददर्पिते पादौ हरेर्क्षेत्रे पादानुसर्पणे शिरो हृषीकेशपदाभिवन्दने कामां च दस्ये न तु कामकाम्यया यदुत्तमश्लोकजनैः श्रियरतिः अहं भक्तापराधीनो हि अस्वतन्त्र इव द्विजा साधुभिर्ग्रस्तो ग्रस्तहृदयो भक्तैर्भक्तजनप्रियः साधवो हृदयं मह्यं साधूनां हृदयं त्वहं मद्यं ज्ञातेन जानन्ति नाहं तेभ्यो मनादपि न जातु कामः कामानाम् उपभोगेन संयति हविष्या कृष्णवर्त्मेय भूया एवाभिवर्धते मात्रा स्वस्त्रा दुहित्रा वा नैविविक्ताशो भवेत् थाशनो भवेत् नैविविक्ताशनो भवेत् बलवान् इन्द्रियग्रामो विध्वंसमपि कर्षति निवृत्तिदर्शैरुपगीयमाना बवौषधच्चोत्रमनोभिरामा का उत्तमश्लोकगुणानवादात् पुमान् विरज्येत विना पशुघ्नाम् एन्येरविन्दाक्ष विमुक्तज्ञानिनः त्वयि अस्तभावदविशुद्धबुद्धया आरुह्य कृच्छ्रेण परं पदं ततः पतन्त्यदूननुद्वित्य युष्मदङ्ग्रियः ज्ञाने प्रयासमुदपस्य नमन्त एव जीवन्ति सन्मुखारितं भवदीयवार्तां स्थाने स्थितश्रुतिगतां तनुवान् मनोभिः यो प्रयासो जितजुतोऽपि यसितैस्त्रिलोक्यम् ते तत्तेनुकम्पं सुसमीक्षमाणो मुञ्जानयेवात्मकृतं विपाकम् हृद्वाग्वपुभिर्विदतं नमस्ते जीवितयो मुक्तिपदे सदाय भाग अथापि ते देव पदाम्बुजं द्वया प्रसादलेशानुगृहव्येव हि जानाति तत्तं भगवन्महिम्नो न चान्य कोऽपि चिरं विचिन्वान् समाश्रिता ये पदपल्लवप्लवं महत्पदं पुण्ययशो मुरारी भवाम्बुदेवत्स परं परं पदं यद्विपदं न तेषं तव कथामृतं तप्तजीवनं कविभिरीडितं कल्मषापहं श्रवणमङ्गलं श्रीमदाततं भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जना यस्यात्मबुद्धेन गुणपेत्रिधातुके. Okay, I'll recite the other slokas a little later. Thank you all for joining. I have to attend the Zoom meeting now. No, I'll keep the same. I'll join the Zoom here itself. There's a Zoom. Hare Krishna, Jagannath Ashtakam they will sing. I will also be singing that. Jagannath Swami Nayana Patagani Bhavatu me. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. I'll share the entire screen for the Jagannath Ashtakam to be sang. Already started, huh? Sorry, I can't hear it. Check the card. Here's the volume. Nindi kata dipin sangeeto. I'll open in the iPad then. Rama Sundhu Brahma. It's a meeting. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Hare 883 38947 4404 16108. Okay.
पुरुषों द्वारा